This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, hello all. Welcome to the next session on SAP ABAP. The last class we discussed object-oriented ALV, but so to do that you need to know the module pool programming. So without that, so it's not possible to understand the ALV reports with the object-oriented programming. So I will come back to again back to this ALV reports with object-oriented ABAP after this concept. So after we do the module pool programming, then again we'll discuss. So what exactly the ALV reports with module pool programs. So I don't want to continue this because so you will not able to understand this concept. So we'll go to the module pool programming. Very important. So SAP is a product. Okay, there are a lot of standard applications which we have. So SAP designed all the standard applications. If you take any example, if you see any program, the application, every applications are designed with the module pool programming base. So tell me some of the transactions which you know, not the technical transactions, business transactions. What is the technical transaction? What is the business transaction? Huh? Business process. Okay. What is that business process which you know? What is the technical transactions? SE11, SE38. So whatever the ABAP does, that's a technical transaction like SE10, SE11, SE24. Okay, SE38, SE37. Okay, these are all the SE41. These are all the technical transactions. So the business transactions are the business process. So yeah, perfect. So the business is the VA01, VA02, VA03, MM01, MM02, MM03. Okay, like this, we have a lot of transactions in SD and MM module. We have seen a lot of business transactions: XD01, XD02, XD03, XK01, XK02, XK03. Okay, VL01, VL02, VL03, VF01, VF02, VF. These are all the business transactions. If you name any business transactions, so the business transactions are built up with the module pool program. So almost most of the business applications are designed with the module pool program. Okay, very important, the module pool programs. Let's take an example of VA01. See, this VA01 is built up. See, there are a lot of screens. Go to the system and status, and this is the screen. Behind background, there is a screen which is developed. See, the screen number which you know. This is the 101 screen number. Okay, if I enter something, maybe the order type is 1, sales organization is 1000, distribution channel 10, division 00. See, I entered this and it goes to the next screen. See, it goes to the next screen. This screen also designed with the module pool program. And go to the system and status, and you will see the screen number is the 4001. Okay, like this, even here there are n number of screens which are designed for this application. So like this, so if you take any business transactions, most of the business transactions are designed with the module pool program. So this is the module pool programming. We can say this module pool or dialog or time pool are screen programming base. So what exactly this is, and so how do you design this, we are going to see in today's class. And so let's take an example of, so here, so this is a screen. Okay, this is a screen. We are going to design a screen. Okay, in this screen, what we are going to develop in the screen. So every screen will have an input fields and output fields. And also, suppose if you want to display multiple records, we are going to use a table controls or tables. And also we can design checkboxes, right? We can design the radio buttons, Okay, we can design the push buttons. Push buttons means push buttons, and also uh, what we can do, checkboxes, radio buttons, push buttons, input fields, output fields, and uh, tables case. So the screen contains, so in a screen we are going to design these things case. Any screen, not only this, everywhere, any screen we are going to design these fields, right? So the screen contains these parameters, and we are going to design the screens for these attributes. And also whenever you design a screen, screen will have two components case. Screen will have two components. So one is the screen contains two components. One is layout and another one is the flow logic. One thing is layout. The another one is flow logic. Okay. So in the layout, we are going to design all these things. So if you want to design an input field, we use layout. If you want to design an output field, we use layout. If you want to design a table, suppose multiple records, if you want to display, we use tables, and that we are going to design in the layout. So suppose if you want to do in a checkbox, we use layout. If you want to do in a radio button, we use layout. If you want to do in a push button, we are going to use a layout. And suppose there is an input field. Suppose if you want to display the data or whatever the data you entered on the screen, if you want to capture the data, you need to write in a logic. So that logic we are going to build in a flow logic base. So the flow logic contains the source code. Flow logic contains the source code. So we are going to develop the code in the flow logic, and in the flow logic there are different kind of events. So like in the report we have events, even here also we have the events case. So POS, it's in a module pool events. So these are all the module pool events, and also we have reporting events as well, right? So what are the reporting events? So reporting events. So you forgot everyone. So first one is initialization. And what is the initialization? So it, by using that we can provide a default values. It will be triggered before the selection screen. That is in a selection screen in report. That is in a selection screen. This is in a normal screen, guys. So that's the difference. So initialization will be triggered before displaying the selection screen. It will be triggered before displaying the selection screen. And at selection screen, we have different kind of events. So we have at selection screen on field, at selection screen on block, at selection screen output. Okay, then start of selection and end of selection, and top of page and end of page, and interactive events at line selection, at user command, and top of page during line selection. These are the reporting events, normal reporting events. So what is top of page? When it will be triggered? Not right statement. I have given very good statement. Yeah, that is also good answer only, but not only right statement. So it will be triggered. Yeah. So it will be triggered whenever system sees the first output statement. That's what my definition. So nobody reads this. So it's a simple reporting is in a simple concept. Okay. So it will be triggered whenever system finds a first output statement, that is in a top of page event. What is end of page? Yeah. So we can use the end of page for the footers. And whenever system finds the line count, we are going to provide a line count on the report header level. Whenever it finds a line count, the end of page will be triggered. What is at line selection? At line selection. So what is this event? This event is an interactive reporting event. So whenever you click on a record, the headline selection, the name itself. Whenever you click on a line or whenever you click on a record, the headline selection event will be triggered. And how can you capture the clicked on record in the normal reporting? Side? Not you can't. Side listen is the one system variable. Then very basics here. Then hotspot to provide a hand symbol. Then I have explained three ways to click on record. I have explained three ways. One is sileasal is the system variable. Second one is the hide. With the hide also we can capture the record. The third one is if you want to capture the click on field and click on value, get cursor field and get cursor field value. Okay, these are all very important guys. Okay, basics. Okay, you have to read this PPT. Yeah, I told to all just spend 1 hour and so these are all business transactions guys. VA11, VA12, VA13. Okay, then see initialization. It triggers before the selection screen display. It provides the default values on the selection screen. Okay, at selection screen on field start of selection. So I have given the definition. Just you need to read these definitions. Okay, then the sequence of the events. So what is the sequence of the events? If you write these events in a program, the execution will follow based on this sequence. So these are all important. So what is basic list? What is secondary list? What is the system variables? Okay, and these are all you should know this. Why? Because if you are not able to tell these answers, it is very difficult to me to proceed with the next concepts. Okay, there are a lot of technical transactions, modularization techniques. Okay, there is heavy content which you need to read it. Okay, so that's okay. So there are some events in the reporting and which will be triggered based on the functionality. Here also we have a module pool screen. Here also we have events, module pool events, PBO, PA, POH, POV. What is PBO? It's a process before output, and PAI it's a process after input. Okay, name itself you'll come to know what exactly it's. Process on help request, and we have similar kind of event in the reporting. What is that? Process on value request. So can anybody tell what is the similar event of this in the reporting? At selection screen on help request, at selection screen on value request. Here also we have same kind of events. So the two main events are the PBO and PA. Very important in the module pool programming. So PBO, which will be triggered before the screen display, the PBO event will be triggered. So before the screen display, this is my screen. So before displaying the screen, so whatever the code you write under the PBO module, so this event will be triggered before displaying the screen. That means if you want to do some functionality before displaying the screen, we are going to write the code under the PBO unit. So PBO will be triggered before displaying the selection screen, sorry, module pool screen. And after you enter some values on the screen, then the event which will be triggered is the PAI event. So the PAI event will be triggered after you enter some values on the screen. After you do some actions on the screen, the PAI event will be triggered. Suppose whenever you do an F4, the value request will be triggered. Suppose there is a field on the screen. When you do an press F4, if you want to do some functionality, you need to write a POV event. So help, what is the function? F1. Whenever you put an F1 on the screen, the POH event will be triggered. Guys. So PBO is when it will be triggered, like initialization in the reports. Initialization will be triggered before selection screen display. Here, the PBO will be triggered before displaying the Modulepool screen. And suppose you enter something on the screen, and then PAI event will be triggered. This. So this is my uh, sequence of the flow diagram of Modulepool program. So before displaying the screen, the PBO event will be triggered, and after the screen, the PA event will be triggered, guys. So you need to remember this screen, guys. That's it, Modulepool program. What is PBO and what is PA and what is screen? And screen contains the layout and screen contains the flow logic. The flow logic we are going to have in events. So we have PBO and PA, POH and POV events. The PBO will be triggered before select Modulepool screen display, and PA will be triggered after you enter some values or after you enter some action on the screen. The PAI event will be triggered. PBO stands for process before output. PAI stands for process after input, guys. So let's have a definitions for these events. Then we'll go for the practicals on the Modulepool programming and process before output. So it triggers before Modulepool screen display. Okay, this is the event PBO. And also, guys, in the screen, PBO will be before Modulepool screen display, and also, guys, it triggers 2 times actually, and it triggers even after we process the values from screen. So both times it will be triggered, guys. PBO for a screen, PBO triggers 2 times. One before screen display, even after screen display also it will be triggered. This is a very important. Okay, but PAI will be triggered only once. Process after input. It's an PAI. It will be triggered after we process the input values from screen. Means it's in a Modulepool screen, guys. Selection screen means it's in a reporting input screen. Okay, screen means it's in a Modulepool screen. I don't mention the Modulepool screen. Okay, so this is the Modulepool screen. So whenever you process some values from the screen, the process after input event will be triggered, guys. And we have a process on value request, and this we call it in a POV shortcut. And when we press F4, when we press F4, it will be triggered. Okay, this is a POV event, and next event is process on alpha request. When we help means F1, when we press F1, it will be triggered. So this is the some of the theory behind the Modulepool program. And also, guys, so we cannot. So what is the purpose of the Modulepool programs and what we can do with the Modulepool program? Okay, so with Modulepool programs, we can perform DQL as well as DML operations. Both we can do it. That means what exactly the DQL and DML? So data query, that means we can display the data, we can fetch the data, we can display the data. And DML operations, data manipulation, that means we can perform a database manipulations. You can insert the data, you can update the data, you can modify the data, you can delete the database. So mainly we use and also and we can design the screens, and we cannot independently test the module pool programs. The program type is M. The program type is M, and we cannot independently test the module pool program. So if we want to test, we must have a transaction code. So this is the my initial version is. So if you want to test module pool program, definitely you need to have a transaction code. Via transaction code only we can execute this. Can anybody tell? So what are the programming types we have seen till now? What is exclude here? Programming type SC38. So one is the executable program. We did a lot of executable programs. The programming type. Directly we can test the executable programs. Then we have include programs. Can you test the include programs directly? No, that will be called by another programs. And also we have in the function group, right? And also we have in subroutine pool programming type. The same way we have a module pool programming type. So the type of the program is M. If it is a module pool program, we cannot independently test directly. Directly we cannot test it. So if you want to test the module pool program, you must have a transaction code. So where do you create the transaction code? SE 93 days. So that's the one important. And also guys, if you want to design a screen, the transaction code is SE 51 days. So if you want to design a module pool screen, the transaction code is the SE 51, or else we can do a call screen, but leave about this concept call screen. So T code is the SE 51. First you need to create a program. First you have to create a program in SE38. Okay, type of the program is M, module pool program. Then you need to go to the SE51, and there you need to create a layout or screen. Okay, these are two steps. Then if you want to test this program directly from SE38, you cannot test, and you have to create a transaction code. So first let me design some basic applications. We are going to take this first. I don't want to do any complications, and we'll take some database table. Can anybody tell, is there any table we have already, custom table which we have created? I have given some exercise for you, right? So what is the exercise which I have given? So same kind of, for the same application, I'm going to build a module pool program. So maybe first I would like to create an employee number, name, date of birth, telephone, and email in a database table. Suppose I would like to enter the data. So how many ways you can enter the data into database table? As of now, you know, how many ways you can enter the data into database table? Huh? What is the two ways? No. Not to create the tables. How do you enter the data? So you have to listen my question carefully. Okay, even interview, when you go for interviews, this is the problem. Okay, you have to listen the question properly, guys. Okay, otherwise it will be the problem. So first listen the question, then answer it. Just you have to wait for 1 second. Huh? Okay, so I asked the question, how do you enter the data into database table? I didn't ask how to create the database table. Okay, so how do you enter the data into database table? Yeah, SM30. Okay, if you maintain the table maintenance generator, you can enter in the SM30. But obviously, if you want to enter the data into database table with SM30, so you must enable the table as a table maintenance allowed. If you maintain the table maintenance allowed option, then only you can enter the data into database table. Or else you can go to the utilities table content and create entries. That's an SC11 option. The second option is you can enter the data by using module pool programs by using DML operations. So we are going to perform. We are going to update the data into this database table via programmatically. Suppose if you select the table maintenance not allowed. So you cannot enter the data by using SE11. You cannot enter the data, but programmatically you can enter the data into database table by using DML commands like insert and update and modify and delete operations. So that options we are going to do in this Modulepool program. DML operations we are going to do it. So let's take an example of what is the database table which you have created. Sai, what is the database table which you have created? Oh, you created a newer server, right? Okay, maybe so I can build a table freshly. GEDG9 and it's an employee table and create the table. So here delivery class is an A application, and here I will select display and maintenance not allowed. Allowed with restrictions. That means you can display the data, but you cannot enter the data. So that option, most of the standard things you can see display and maintenance allowed with restriction. That means you can display the data, but you cannot enter via the SE11. And go to here and MEA and DD, and this is an MEA and DD. What is this meaning, MEA and DD? Okay, if you see the first field data element which is equal to MA and DT, that's a client dependent table is. So revision. Okay, an employee number, employee EMP number. So guys, I will take the standard data element because I don't want to put a lot of time. So personal number, then name one. Name one is not a key field, and it's a name one underscore GP. Some name one. Then we have date of birth, so DOB, and so date of birth we have DDE DOB. Someone created, I think. Yeah, D for the DOB, and also we have telephone number TELF1, and so this is a TELF1. We'll see. Yeah, telephone number and also email address. So it's an SMTP underscore ADDR. This is the field for the email address and data element also SMTP underscore ADDR. No, SMTP. So maybe I can go to the ADR. See guys, always the emails will be available in the ADR6 database table. Okay, which you need to remember. Very important because a lot of places we are going to take the email IDs and SMTP ADDR. See, this is the data element. So you have to use always prefer to use the standard data elements. If not available, then you need to make use of the your custom data elements. So I have created a table now. So this is the database table which I am going to create and create transport for the Modulepool transport Modulepool programs. Okay, so this is the transport, and go to the technical settings, and in the technical settings I put on a APPL00. So if it is in a low table guys, low volume of table, we have to put 0. If it is in a high volume, you need to put in a 8. So you can put 8, that's not any problem. Save and come back, and I don't do any table maintenance generator directly. I'm creating in a table. And why? Because I am not going to maintain a table maintenance generator, because the SE11 you cannot see. I put in a table maintenance generator, doesn't allow, actually it should not allow. So why? Because I put on a okay, not allowed, not no allowed with restrictions. Actually it should not allow table maintenance generator. Maybe not allowed, it doesn't allow, but here we can you can maintain a table maintenance generator, but I don't want to do any. I don't want to enter the data via the SE11. See utilities and table contents. See create entries is disabled. You cannot enter the data. Just you can display the data into database table. Now I use this table to design my Modulepool program. So now I go to the SE38 and GEDZ 9 employee report. So create the program and employee project and cost details. So this is my employee, manage employee and cost details. Save. Okay, so better always. I'm going to maintain a first data. So you need to declare in a one work area case. PS underscore my employee table and type my work area is like this. So don't use work area. So guys, so one more thing, don't create work area now because it will be the problem. So always I use tables case. Whenever I use in a module pool program, I use in a tables option. What exactly the tables? Did I explain? What is tables? When I declare the tables, what will happen? Huh? One work area will be created with the same name. So actually this creates in a one work area. No need to create in a work area. This table I can use like in a work area. Then use directly of selection. And guys, what? Sorry, I taken this as a report, guys. So executable program. Sorry. So report M type M. Okay. So demo for Modulepool. And see guys, type of program is here Modulepool. Don't select an executable and Modulepool program and save. So this program type is the Modulepool programming type and declare in a tables and this my table is, you can do an if you don't remember what you can do gedz 9 and gedz 9 employee em control space. Okay, and start off selection and we are going to activate this 3D printer, activate this program. Activate. First you need to create the program and you need to declare in a tables. Okay, then take this program and go to the SE51 to design a layout phase. The transaction code is the SE51 and provide the program. See, this is my program, Modulepool program, and you need to provide the screen number. So maybe I can provide 100 as a screen number. So 100 is a screen number. So don't use 1000 guys. 1000 is reserved for the reports. Okay, standard report selection screen. The screen number is the 1000. So don't use 1000. Other than 1000, you can use any screen number. So 100 I am using it and create the Modulepool screen layout and it's a layout have a screen for employee and the type of screen is in a normal screen. Okay, the type of the screen is normal screen and if you want to design a screen and you know right, so screen will have layout and as well as the flow logic. So you need to go to the layout to design your fields. So yesterday we went to this screen, right? So yeah, so here you can see there are a lot of things we can do with the screen list. See, so the buttons, so what you can do with the screen, so we can create the input and output fields. What are that? We can create the input and output field. See, input and output field, this option, and this is a text description. If you want to provide a description, we can use the text field. And also you can see a reset if you want to reset. And what is this? This is a checkbox. We can design the checkboxes, we can design the radio buttons, we can design the push buttons, and we can design the tabs. Okay, leave it. And we can design the box. The box we can provide, like in selection screen we provide in a box. How do you provide in a box? Selection screen begin of block B1 with the frame title text 001 guys. Wow. Okay, so this is in a box and also this is in a guys from today you have to read like an intermediate student. Okay, otherwise it will be very difficult. Now the industry is totally changed. So in a sprint now, the methodology, project methodology is an agile methodology which is running. Okay, in the agile methodology we will be having in a sprint. So every sprint will have in a 2 weeks. In a 2 weeks you need to develop 2 to 3 objects, guys. That's the industry expectation. Okay, but if you want to do, if you want to meet the industry expectation, you should work like an intermediate student now. Okay, in intermediate, how you read? So morning 5 o'clock, but not 5 o'clock. So now you can start at least from 7 o'clock till night 9 o'clock. You should be in the practice as well as in the reading for the 6 to 8 months. If that is the not case, so it doesn't work out. So the industry expectation is entirely different. Okay, so that's a simple thing. And here you can design the table control, and also you can design the custom control. See, yesterday we have used this custom control for the ALV report. So let's start with a simple input and output fields case. So how can you design the input and output fields? How can you design the push buttons? We'll see in the today's class. Suppose if I want to do an input and output fields for that table, so I will go to the here dictionary and program fields. See, so I click on the dictionary and program fields and select the table name or work area name, guys. So I have defined tables in the program, and if I go to the here and enter that table, so what is that table? GEDC employee. So take this and enter, and so get it from dictionary, guys. Don't get it from the program. So get it from dictionary. Whenever you do the get it from dictionary, you will get all the descriptions and all. Otherwise we need to design the descriptions and everything. So I will always go for the get it from dictionary. So click on this. You can see the fields from the table data dictionary. The fields we have mandatory, client, employee number, name one, date of birth, telephone one, SMTD, address. So select these fields, whatever required, select and enter, and put, drag and drop over here, and okay. See, guys, a screen is designed. So this is my personal number. See, how did you get this description, guys? How you are getting this description? Can anybody tell? Field description, where you get the field description concept. Perfect. So this description is coming from the data element, guys. If you don't have any data element for a field, you will not get any field description over here, guys. That's the important concept. So everything is linked, guys. Data dictionary is very, very powerful concept. So everything derived from the data dictionary. See, guys, so this, double click on this. What happened? Okay, double click. Activate. Again, double click here. What happened? I should be getting in a pop-up actually. Yesterday we have seen it. When I click, you will get in a pop-up. What about it's hanging? We'll close once and I will come back again. Save and go to the layout again. Now you do the double click. See, you will get in a pop-up place. So this is the pop-up. So here in this pop-up, you see there are a lot of attributes, guys, here. And whenever you click on it, see, click on it, program. See, here you can see input field. The input is possible. That means you can put you can enter the data into this field. Suppose if you don't want to enter the data into this field, so here there are options. See, not possible, not possible. See, it is grayed out. That means you cannot enter the data into database table. Sorry, you cannot enter the data into the screen. So if you want to enable those options, you need to double click on the screen field, guys, always. So you need to set in a properties. See, double click, and I would like to enter the data into this field. See, so you can enter the data into this field, guys. So the lot of options you can see here. And also if you want to maintain a mandatory field, so you can put in a required. So mandatory, how can you enable the mandatory field on the selection screen? No. I didn't explain. In the selection screen, how can you enable selection screen field as in a mandatory field? Selection then output. No. Did you had obligatory? Okay, I didn't explain. Sorry, I forgot. So if you want to enable a selection, we'll cover that. So without this field, if you don't want to proceed further, that means it's a mandatory. Okay. So one thing. So without your password, can you create an email ID? Password field is a mandatory to create an email ID, right? Here also, suppose if you want to enable some field as a mandatory field, so we are going to provide that field as a mandatory field or required field. So required means definitely you need to enter the database. So I'll use some example on this. So what exactly the mandatory field? So let's go to the VA01. So I will take it out. So I will come here. See guys, there is a tick mark. So that means without entering order type, you cannot proceed further. See, enter. See, fill in required entry fields. You must enter the value here. Otherwise, you cannot proceed further. So that's a mandatory field. So in the mandatory field, if you want to enable the mandatory field, we are going to use the concept called required. So this is a required field. Then it will become a mandatory. So that's a mandatory option. And so even this here also in our screen also employee number is I will enable employee number as a mandatory field. Is it employee number? Yeah, it's a required field. Definitely you need to enter the database. So that's a mandatory field. See, this becomes a mandatory field. This becomes a without entering a personal number or employee number, you cannot proceed further. Then name also, yes, you must provide a name, and I make this as a required field. And date of birth also I will make in a required field, and these are all mandatory field. Telephone, email address, that's okay, but you must enter the person. Sometimes maybe you will not be having telephone number, you will not be having email address, but I cannot stop you to maintain the data. So if you have, you can provide the data, otherwise you don't provide the database. So this is my first screen, guys. Okay, so this is my first module pool screen. Then what I need to do is when I perform in a save, here I will put on two buttons. One is here one push button, here one push button. Okay, so when I click on save, the data should be saved on the database table. And when I click on the next, it should go to the next screen if I have. When I click on back, it should come back to the initial screen. That's the three options which I am going to design. So to design the buttons, here you can see the button push button is. You need to take a push button option. Click on the push button and put over here, guys. So that's it. Select and place the button over here and double click, and here you can put in a push button. It's in the first one is save. Text is the save. See, the text comes over here. And also if you want to put an icon also, you can put the icon. So here you can go here and search for the icon save. Save. Find plus. See guys, this is the save button. This is the save button. This is the save button. See? And also guys, whenever you click on a push button, so what is the mandatory thing which we need to have? In menu painter, whenever you click on a push button, what will happen actually? The concept. What is the concept? Whenever you click on a push button in interactive report, what happens? That user command will be triggered. Then how do you know on which push button you clicked on it? How do you know which push button you clicked on it? How do you know which push button you clicked on it? Huh? Yes, correct. LSID is the list. You are talking about list. I am talking about push button. Yeah? Perfect. What stores in SIUCOM? Yes. So here also the same concept. You need to have a function code. In menu painter SE41, we design a function code for every push button. Whenever you click on a push button, the function code which is assigned to that push button, the value will be stored in the SciUCom. Based on the SciUCom, we are going to write the logic. Here also same thing. The function code, if it is in a push button, you must assign the function code. This is the function code. It's in a mandatory. So the function code should be assigned in the module pool as it is. So now here also same concept. Whenever you click on a push button, the function code for this push button, the function code, see here the same. The function code will be saved in the SciUCom system variable. Here also same concept. And also I designed one more push button. The push button is back button. So I'm going to design a back button. And even every push button you must assign a function code, and also you can assign the icons. So here is the icon, and you can see the back button icon, back enter, see, and you can use this. Okay, this is my back button. So just I did two buttons. One is the save and another one is the back. So that's it, guys. I designed the layout. This is my screen, guys. So this is my input and input screen, and I will enter the personal number, name, and employee, and telephone number and email address. When I save it, this data should be saved on the database. And when I click on back, it should come out of the screen, guys. So activate the screen and go to the flow logic, guys. So you need to write in a logic, right? So go to the flow logic and see, guys, the flow logic contains the two events. One is the process before output, another one is the process after input, guys. So here you can see, so screen contains the layout, and with the layout we can design the input fields, output fields, table, checkbox, radio buttons, push buttons, and we did an input field, we did an push buttons, and flow logic which contains the PBO, PAI, POH, and POV. But these two are the default events. PBO and PAI are the default events. Automatically system will give you, and here you can see the default events. So come here. So here you can see process before output. That means if you want to do some functionality before displaying the screen, see, this is my flow logic, the screen flow logic, and we have a screen. So before displaying the screen, if you want to display something, if you want to write some functionality, we use a PBO event. Suppose I entered some values on the screen. If I want to save the data, I use the event PAI. Why? Because this event will be triggered after you enter something on the screen, guys. So we use an PAI event now. So I go to here, I go to the here, and here, guys, everything is in a module, guys. So in Modulepool program, if you want to write some code, so you have to write in a module. Module is nothing but it's like in a subroutine only. Okay. So module is nothing but it's in a subroutine. Okay. Double click on the module, uncomment the module. See, I have uncommented the module and double click on this. Module is does not exist. Do you want to create the module? Yes. So select the same program. Don't create the new include, and okay, and okay. So okay, so actually I put an editable mode. See, this program I have selected, put this name display mode, and now you click on it. Okay, and okay. Now see, guys, the module is created in this program. So this is my program. The module is created. So here I need to write the code base. So how do you write the code? So what my functionality? When I click on the save, so what is the functionality? Push button, function code. When I click the push button, the function code which is assigned, the value will be stored in the SciUCom. So I am going to write the case sci-use and end case. Okay, first I applied this, and when the value equal to the save, okay, write the save functionality. When the value equal to back, so this is the function code which are assigned in the module. When you save it in the database. When you back it back to the initial screen. So maybe whenever you click on a back, so we have a concept, guys. Leave screen to leave screen leave to screen leave to screen. This is the leave to screen 0 base. So this is the 0 means it's an initial screen. Okay, it will come out of from your screen. So whenever you click on back, you need to write a leave to screen. And whenever it is in a save, guys, in module pool program, in module pool, one more important point about the module pool. When we whatever the data object we use to design the screen fields, when we enter the data in screen fields, the data will be stored in the same data object. So this is also one more important point is the module pool. Very, very important. So have used a data object to design the screen. Let's take an example of here. What is our screen? Go to the sorry, where is our save and go to the layout. So I have used one data object case. See, this is my table GEDZ9 employee. Okay, this is my data dictionary table. Okay, so I have used this to design this screen. And whenever I enter the data on that field, the data will be stored on this field list. This data object, it is going to store that value in this data object. So if you want to have it in a data object, definitely you need to use in a data statement. So I have used in a tables statement list. So in the program, if you see, there is in a table statement, so which will create in a data object for you. The work area, it is going to create it. The data will be stored on this work area. So that's a concept. So if I enter some data here, that data will be stored in this data object. So activate the screen and activate the flow logic. Go to the flow logic and activate the flow logic and come back and come back. And guys, this is my module pool program. So what is the statement about module pool program? Come back and display. And what is the statement about module pool program? Can you test directly? So I'm going to test. See, module pool program is not it's not a report program. You cannot test it. It's in a type of module pool program. But if you want to test a module pool program, what you need to do? We must create a transaction code. So take this program and go and create a transaction code SE93 and GEDC 9 employee transaction. Okay, and create transaction code and manage employee. And guys, there are different kind of radio buttons. If it is in a selection screen report program, we use this radio button. See, program and selection screen. But if it is in a module pool, see guys, it's in a dialog programming, it's in a dialog transaction. You need to select program and screen, guys. Okay, very, very important. The radio button selection. If it is in a report program, we use program and selection screen. But if it is in a module pool program, we use program and screen. Okay, and here you need to provide the program name. And what is the screen number we have created? 100 is the screen number. You need to enable these 3 checkboxes and save the transaction. Save that transaction and save that transaction and take this transaction now and see guys GEDC9 and EMP enter. See guys, whatever the screen which we have designed, the screen comes here and these 3 fields are mandatory guys. Suppose do this, so fill in required all the fields. So this is my required field. Definitely you must enter the data. Let's take an example of I have started. I'm going to start personal number 1 and the name is okay Naveen and employee date of birth is F4 and put a date of birth of a name okay 1997 okay and telephone, enter some telephone and email address and EDC. This is my email address. I have entered. So what I told, whenever you enter the data will be saved in the data objects. Whatever the data objects you are used to design the screen, the data will be saved in that, and you need to use that data objects to perform your next operations. So when I click on save, then the PAI event will be triggered. See, this is my screen. After you do some action on the screen, the PAI event will be triggered. So the code which is written under the PAI, so we need to write the code, and maybe I will put in a back, it goes to the back. What happened? Leave to screen 0. Why it's not working? Okay, SC38 and change. And guys, yeah, this is inactive. That's the this program is inactive. That's why it's not working. So guys, so one more important thing is whenever you do in a Modulepool program, so here if you want to go to the screen, you need to go to the SE51. If you want to do changes in program, you need to come to the SE38, right? So suppose if I want to do some changes on the screen, can you go from here to the screen? It's not possible. But always whenever you do in a Modulepool program, so better always you use in a display object list. See, it will give all the things. See guys, screen also will be available over here. So I can go to the program, I can go to the screen here, single. This, what is this transaction? SE80, perfect. So SE80, see guys, from here I can do it and activate. And also program, you need to activate. And also you can see the transaction as well. This. So no need to go to the pre-transaction. See, so normally if you want to go to this program SE38 and screen SE51 and transaction SE93, but everything is available in a single transaction. That's an SE80. And maybe I can execute this transaction now. Execute and maybe back. See guys, one and maybe and do this something now back. See, it comes out of the screen. And next thing is I need to perform a save guys. So save, whenever you want to do a save, you need to go to the PAI modules. Okay, here you can see the PAI modules and also events, everything it is going to display. Data dictionary structures, this is the data dictionary structure, everything it will display. Go to the user command. I need to write in a save option logic. So whenever you save it, so what will happen? So I need to insert the data into database. Okay, what is the commands to do in a DML commands? So you need to apply a DML command. So I am going to write insert GEDZ9. This is a database table, guys. Okay, employee from where is the data? Where is the data? Where is the data? The data will be stored here, guys. Whatever the data you enter, the data will be stored in that data object. So Control C and Control V. So that's if you want to do more things like data ls underscore emp. So I will give the more type and ls underscore emp, which is this. So to make you more understandable, I am doing this. We can do like this also, but I will do like this. Okay. So what I did, I declared a temporary work area. Okay, with this table, type this, and so what I told, whatever the you design the screen, whenever you enter the data will be stored on that data object. So the data is stored here. So that data I am moving into the another work area. That work area I am using. This is my database table guys. Insert operation I am doing. Insert database table from work area. So the data will be updated into this database table. So this is my Modulepool program. I am doing a DML operation, data manipulation operation. With this, I am going to insert the data into the database table programmatically. This is my programmatically I am going to maintain. So maybe I put on a breakpoint. Okay, then only you are going to understand. So I put on a breakpoint. Now I go to the transaction. So if doesn't go, you need to invent. Okay, and GEDZ 9 EM, and now I'm going to enter these details. Okay, so Navi. So see guys, I put on a save option. See guys, whenever you click on something, the PAI event will be triggered. After you crossing the screen values, the event which will be triggered is that this is the module under the PAI event. So now click on this data object and click on this, and you see the employee number we entered one, right? The name one Naveen, and date of birth is this, and telephone number is this, and email address is this. So the data will be stored on that data object. What are the data objects which we have used to design the screen? The screen you are going to see that, and also now that I'm going to, this is empty guys, see this is empty. I'm moving the data temporarily from this data objects to the local work area. Now you have the data in the local work area, and to make understandable I put this, otherwise directly I can use this here guys. I can directly use this just to let you know the data will be stored on this data object. And guys, you come see, so you click on a push button save. So whenever you click on a push button, the function code which is assigned to the push button is saved. The function code is stored in the system variable come. So case come, when the value equal to save, and we are going to insert the data. We are inserting this database table. See guys, I'll go to the database table and display the data and number of entries. Now we do not have any entries, but after you execute this statement F5 and execute and execute, go now database table, number of entries, you see the one entry is data is stored in the database by using DML command, data manipulation operation. See, the data is stored in the database table. So that's the Modulepool program. We can do in a DML operation, and as well as we can do in a DQL operation as well. So we'll extend this program tomorrow, and we are going to do a lot of things in this program guys. So this is a simple and basic Modulepool program. So we have if you want to design a Modulepool program, we need to design a screen, and screen contains the layout and also flow logic. Layout is used to design the input and output fields, push buttons, tables, checkboxes, radio buttons, and all the screen controlling fields. And the flow logic is used to control your screen. We are going to develop some code in the flow logic. Flow logic contains the PBO, PI, POH, and POV. PBO, which will be triggered before screen display, PI, which will be triggered after screen display. And so we can design the push buttons. Whenever you design the push button, you need to assign the function code. The function code value will be stored in the SciUCom. So whenever you write a logic, we need to use an SciUCom, and which button you click on this. Based on that only, you need to write the back button, back functionality, and save button, save functionality. So that's the some of the basic and fundamentals about the Modulepool program. That's it for the day. Do you have any questions? So you also create your own table and build your own Modulepool program. Okay. And please put efforts, case. Please, you have to put more efforts. Okay. Otherwise, it will be very problem. And even from the institute point of view, also last 3 to 3 months, we do not have any jobs. Okay. Very dry period. Okay. Which is giving me a little discouragement. Okay. Without jobs I cannot, even I will not enjoy actually. So every month I need to see one job, but last 3 months no jobs. Okay, that's it for the day. Please practice the Modulepool programs, and also please revision all the PPT ones days. Okay, so in the last 15 days you forget everything. Okay, simple things, box, that kind of things also you are not telling. Okay, you have to revision. Okay, the PPT. Okay, what Wasim? You are very silent. Huh? In the last after Pongal, you are very silent. What happened?